Hello and welcome to a presentation of Axxerion Invoice Runs. Axxerion Invoice Runs is a part of comprehensive Axxerion financials, which includes contracts and leases, general ledgers with accounts payable and accounts receivable, invoicing and retention management for projects, contracts and leases, work orders and services, purchase orders and ad hoc invoicing, managing payment batches and receivable batches, purchasing, including field purchasing, budgeting, reports, P&L, balance sheet, and a variety of different reports from the system. So you log into your environment, and within the contracts module on the side menu, you have what's called Invoice Runs. When you click the Invoice Runs, you can search for existing schedulers for generating invoices. In this case, we have two schedulers, one for maxi lease invoices and the other one for general leases. If you want to create a new one, you just click the new and then you fill out the information. Let's open up the maxi lease invoices scheduler. We open up this invoice scheduler. We look at it from the top. There's the reference number and then the name. This is the schedule, and then this is a template for the invoice runs. So every month when the invoices are generated, this template is used. So it's got the date, this is for the month to invoice, the name, maxi lease invoice scheduler, and description, monthly lease payment invoices, category. You can have different categories, and different categories could have different fields or different defaults. Contract report. So the contract report is important. This is a standard report that you can attach, and that would be making a list of all the contracts and leases to be invoiced. And there's a filter that you can apply to that. This is a filter that would apply to this report. So in this case, we're looking for leases related to our client maxi lease, which is our filter. At the bottom, you see the cycle. So this would be generating an invoice generator once a month, and it goes all the way to the end of the year, 12/31/17. So you have the option of setting this up however you would like. On the right hand side, you have the default values for the invoices: invoice name, invoice description, the invoice category. You see invoice outgoing, invoice date, basically that would change to the proper date as you're generating it, and then invoice due date. So once you have filled out the information in the invoice scheduler, you can scroll down and then you can use the generate button to generate various invoice generators for each one of the months. In here we have generated these. There's 7 invoice runs. Each one of them would show the invoice run and then the dates from and the to, from June, July, etc. until the end of the year as we requested. If you go to any one of these with clicking the hyperlink, you can open it up. You can see the invoice run, which was copied from our scheduler. You see the name titles, the date, the report that is going to run, the category, and then scheduler status. This is executed. If you execute this, basically it says that's done, approved by, and approved on. So this is important because if this is not approved, it's not going to generate the invoices for you. Next would be the amounts. So once you have this invoice run set up, you can go to the amounts and then say the generate. And generate would take all the leases that are applicable and then generate the amounts and make it ready for approval. If the amounts are okay, you can approve it by putting a date and then the name of the person who approves it. If the amounts don't seem right, you can delete them and then go back to the leases or make any corrections that are necessary. Once this is in place and it's approved, then you can click generate, and then you would come to the invoices. Invoices in this case would have the defaults on this, what type of invoice it is, what is the information on it, and then clicking the generate will generate the invoice for you. Now, when the invoices are generated, you can go to the financial side, go to the invoices, and you can see the invoices that have been generated. Opening them up here, in this case we had one billable amount for Maxi Lease. You see the monthly rent and dues, the date that was set up. Payment terms would come from the Maxi Lease profile, and then all the data that is brought in, and then the amounts that are brought in from the lease. So this invoice is ready to be submitted and sent out to the client.